Sayyiduna Abdullah ibn Huzafa Sahami radiallahu anhu, he was sent as a general of a Muslim army to Rome. When he reached Rome, the emperor, the king there said, look, Abdullah, I'll give you half of my kingdom, become a Christian. What did he say? I'll give you half of my kingdom, become a Christian. Sayyidina Abdullah said, La. He said, no. The king, he was surprised. He said, I'm giving him half of my kingdom. He's saying no. He said, okay. He said, look, if you don't become a Christian, I'm going to kill you. Right? Then he said to him, what do you think? Would you become Christian? He said, La. He said, no. Then the king, he got agitated. He said, look, I've offered him what I had. He's saying no. I'm threatening him and my threats are not standing. My threats have no weight. They have no power in front of him. He's replying to my threat with a strong word saying, La. So then what happened next? Sayyidina Abdullah had gone in an army and the whole army was captured. There was a battle and this day was against them. They were all captured. So he said, look, he called one of the other captives from amongst the Muslims, the king did, and he called for a pot of boiling water. Called for what? A pot of boiling water, right? And he asked for that other Muslim captive to be thrown in. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Huzafa Sahami radiallahu anhu, he said, I saw his flesh leave his bones within seconds. He said there was no flesh left on his bones. I saw this with my eyes. He said the king turned around to me and said, either you become Christian or you follow him. And Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Huzafa Sahami radiallahu anhu, he said, I won't become Christian. The king said to his servants, he said, take him. They took him. And he's walking towards the pot with the servants of the king. And Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Huzafa begins to cry. And the king sees that. And he says, stop, bring him back. They brought him back to the king, and the king said, أَلِزَوْجَةٍ اشْتَقْتَ إِلَيْهَا أَمْ لِأَوْلَادٍ سَتُفَارِقُهُمْ عَنْ قَرِيبٍ? Is it because of a wife that you yearn towards, you began to cry? Or is it because you see that you will be parting your children very soon? Is it because of a land that you remember? Is it because of the preciousness of your life that you began to cry? And Sayyidina Abdullah radiallahu anhu said to him, it's not for a wife that I cry, nor for a children that I cry. It's not for the preciousness of my life that I cry, but these tears came out of my eyes, praying to Allah that only if I had 1,000 lives to throw like this in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, my tears came out, praying to Allah that only if I had 1,000 lives that I could give in your way, like just like this, one after the other, one after the other. You know, when the king heard this, he became the captive, and Sayyidina Abdullah became the king. You know why? Because of that iman that was pumping in his heart. That iman that was pumping in his heart made him a king and made the king a captive slave. The king was shocked, he was baffled, he was gobsmacked, and he was thrown back. He didn't know what to say. He said to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Huzafa radiallahu anhu,